Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you for holding this hearing. I want to thank Mr. Uchiyamada, Mr. Inaba, Mr. Sasaki, Mr. Ditlow for being here today. It occurs to me into listening to the testimony that when we're talking, as my colleague did, about pedal sensors and engine computers and microprocessors, that these cars are very complicated. And gone are the days when we could, as consumers, at least nearly all consumers, understand how these vehicles operate. And as these cars become more complicated, I believe the burden is more on the manufacturer to make sure that things operate properly. This is not my old '66 Mustang that I could get under the hood and maybe figure something out. These are extremely complicated vehicles. My wife and I have one of your cars. She drives SUV and puts our 3 small kids in the back. So when I learned of this, I did probably what most families do, and I went home and had a conversation with my wife about what she should do if her car accelerated out of control, whether it was a floor mat or some other problem. That's not a good conversation for us to be having in terms of your company. And what my colleague, Senator Cantwell, said, I want to echo, is that part of our disappointment, I think, is because of the reputation you have for being such an excellent purveyor of quality cars. Many of these issues have already been discussed. The thing that I want to focus on today is sort of, I understand what you're doing now, and I applaud you for doing it with the independent evaluation, and I applaud you for the efforts that you're taking. My concern is how long you've known about this problem and the efforts that you took in the past. We have been given, and I believe that the chairman has entered this into the record, a PowerPoint presentation that was given on September 20th, 2006 by Mr. Jim Press, who was the president. I guess that was your predecessor, Mr. Inaba, is that correct?
Yes, correct.
Okay. And this document has a group of, it looks like it was a slideshow presentation. Could someone from Toyota provide information to us as to where this presentation was given and to whom it was given?
I do not personally know that documents, but we will certainly get back to you with more information about that.
Is there anybody from Toyota who's familiar with this document who's here today?
Not from 3 of us.
Okay. Well, let me read to you, because I'm reviewing these documents, Mr. Chairman, as they've been presented to us. This is a slideshow presentation about a new era for Toyota and TMA in North America, and it goes through several issues, including safety issues, and there are notations in the back here which are notes to this slide presentation. And on the document that has as its ending Bates number 25, there is reference to slide number 25, and it says the following: our ability to manage the tide of safety investigations rests largely on our ability to work well with NHTSA. Over the last few years, we have seen our relationship begin to slip slightly with NHTSA. The reasons are complex. They include a combination of increased recalls, more investigation, and tougher negotiations between Toyota and the agency. Not all of the recall increase can be blamed on slipping Toyota quality. And it goes on from there. None of you have, I guess, have seen this document, but this is from the president of Toyota Motors North America, or at least it contains information that he, I guess, presented. And I'm worried about some of these phrases, about managing the tide of safety investigations. I'm concerned about not all of the recall increase can be blamed on slipping Toyota quality. And to the point that was made before, this looks like more of an effort to get in front of, in a public relations way, a problem in order to instill confidence in the consumer and to deal with the government regulatory agency than it does trying to solve a problem. And from the documents that I reviewed, you've known about an acceleration problem, whether it's been caused by electronics, which you don't believe it has been, or whether it's been caused by floor mats, which I guess you believe it does, and you've taken measures on that, you've known about this problem for some time. And I have a concern that the efforts that you took in the past were not appropriate, and you did not go far enough in the years prior to what you are doing today. Do you care to comment on that statement?
2006年の頃にリコールの数が北米で増えてきたということは個人的にちょっとしっかりしたデータを持っておりませんがそういう話を聞いたことはあります。後でまた詳しい数字は出したいと思いますけれどもいずれにしろ我々はリコールになるような車を作ったことは恥ずべきことだと思いますがリコールをきちっとしていくということももう一つ大事な仕事だということでリコールをきちっとしなきゃいけないというものにとってみればそのリコールの数が増えているということは逆に言うとしっかり仕事をしたという評価になるんではないかと、非常に複雑な言い方ですけれどもまずそういうことをご確認いただきたいと思います。
Around 2006, the number of recalls in North America increased. And with regards to this, I do not have any data on me personally right now. So I would like to submit to the committee later more accurate numbers. It is certainly an embarrassing thing for an automotive manufacturer to create or produce a vehicle that have to be recalled later. However, when we realize that the recall is needed, then the work of recall should be done properly. So this may sound a little bit contradictory or complex or a bit strange, but the number of recall was increasing, and that meant that on the one hand, we were doing our job properly.
日産との関係が大変疑われておるというか、トヨタが不健全な関係を築いてきたんではないかというご懸念をいただいているのは誠に残念で、ぜひクリアな関係といいますか、それをこれからもしっかりお見せしたいと思いますが、今までも過去10年にトヨタが北米で行ったリコール、全部で66件ございます。その中の57件はボランタリーということで、特別日産の方から強いご指示があってやったわけではないと。残念ながら9件は我々が十分対応できずに日産の方からこれはリコールすべきであるということの指示のもとにやったと思います。ですから必ずしも日産をうまく説得すればリコールをしなくて済むということではなくて、そのうちの大半はボランタリーでやっているということをまたここでもご確認をいただきたいというふうに思います。
With regards to our relationship with NHTSA, it is really unfortunate that some of you may have a concern or some people might suspect it was unhealthy. I would like to clear that going forward and build a healthy relationship with NHTSA. In the past 10 years, Toyota has conducted in total 66 vehicle recalls in North America, of which 57 were on a voluntary basis. In other words, we were not given any instruction from NHTSA to do these recalls. However, we did do that. Unfortunately, the remaining 9 cases, our response was not good enough, and it ended up in the instructed recall by NHTSA. But we are not trying to work on the relationship with NHTSA so that if we can persuade them, we can avoid recalls or anything like that. And our past record testifies to that. And this is a piece of information I would like you to understand.
Thank you, Senator LeMieux.
Thank you.